Hello again, minions. Friends. Welcome back to Knockboom Creek. We've all seen the movies, possessed toys wreaking havoc, their beady eyes glowing with malice. From the classic horror films to the more recent thrillers, the concept of a toy coming to life with sinister intentions has always fascinated and terrified us. These stories tap into a primal fear, the idea that something so innocent and familiar could harbor such malevolence. It's a theme that has been explored in countless ways, each iteration bringing its own unique twist to the tale. Chucky, the infamous killer doll, has haunted our dreams for decades. Since his first appearance in the 1988 film Child's Play, Chucky has become a cultural icon, representing the ultimate nightmare of a child's toy turned deadly. His maniacal laugh, his relentless pursuit, and his chilling catchphrases have cemented him as one of the most memorable villains in horror history. But what is it about Chucky that makes him so terrifying? Is it his small stature, his seemingly innocent appearance, or the way he embodies our deepest fears about the things we trust the most? But what if I told you Chucky wasn't entirely a work of fiction? What if the idea of a possessed doll wasn't just a product of a screenwriter's imagination, but something rooted in reality? Throughout history, there have been numerous accounts of dolls that were believed to be haunted or possessed. These stories often share common elements: unexplained movements, eerie sounds, and a sense of malevolence that seems to emanate from the doll itself. Could it be that the legend of Chucky was inspired by real-life events? What if I told you a real Chucky existed? A malevolent entity trapped in a child's plaything, driven by a sinister desire to cross over into our world. This isn't just a ghost story or a campfire tale. There are documented cases of dolls that have been linked to paranormal activity, objects that seem to carry a dark presence with them. These dolls are often passed down through generations, their stories growing more chilling with each retelling. One such doll is Chester, a name that has become synonymous with fear and dread. This is the story of Chester. Unlike Chucky, a mass-produced toy, Chester was a one-of-a-kind porcelain doll handcrafted by an unknown artisan. His creation was shrouded in mystery, with no records of who made him or why. Some say he was a gift for a child, while others believe he was created for a darker purpose. What is known is that Chester's presence has been linked to a series of unexplained events, each more terrifying than the last. Unlike Chucky, a mass-produced toy, Chester was a one-of-a-kind porcelain doll, handcrafted by an unknown artisan. He was meticulously crafted, with attention to every detail. His fiery red hair was made from real human hair, and his piercing blue eyes seemed to follow you wherever you went. His painted-on smile, though meant to be endearing, had an unsettling quality to it, as if it was hiding something sinister beneath the surface. The craftsmanship was exquisite, but there was something about Chester that set him apart from other dolls. He had a mop of fiery red hair, piercing blue eyes, and a painted-on smile that could chill you to the bone. People who encountered Chester often spoke of a feeling of unease, a sense that they were being watched. Some claimed to hear whispers in the night, voices that seemed to come from the doll itself. Others reported seeing Chester move on his own, his eyes blinking or his head turning ever so slightly. These stories were often dismissed as the product of overactive imaginations, but those who experienced them knew better. This is not just a story of a haunted doll. It's a story of possession, of a darkness that seeps into the mundane and twists it into something terrifying. Chester's tale is one of many that blur the line between reality and the supernatural, challenging our understanding of what is possible. It's a reminder that the things we take for granted, the objects we surround ourselves with, can sometimes harbor secrets we are not prepared to face. It's a story of possession, of a darkness that seeps into the mundane and twists it into something terrifying. The idea that an inanimate object could be a vessel for something otherworldly is both fascinating and horrifying. It forces us to confront the possibility that the world is not as we perceive it, that there are forces at work beyond our comprehension. Chester's story is a testament to the power of belief and the ways in which our fears can manifest in the most unexpected places. It's a story that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the line between fantasy and reality. As we delve deeper into Chester's history, we will uncover the chilling events that have made him a legend in his own right. From the mysterious deaths of those who owned him to the strange occurrences that seem to follow him wherever he goes, Chester's story is one that will stay with you long after the credits roll. So, are you ready to face the darkness? Are you ready to meet Chester? Chester's reign of terror began subtly. Objects moved in the night, toys were found scattered across the floor as if tossed aside in a fit of rage. The young boy who owned Chester, a bright and imaginative child named Daniel, was blamed for the disturbances. But Daniel knew the truth. He would wake in the dead of night to the sound of scratching coming from his closet door. Peeking inside, he would find Chester in different positions, his smile wider, his eyes gleaming with an unholy light. Then came the writing on the walls. Frantic messages scrawled in red crayon began appearing on Daniel's bedroom walls, seemingly out of nowhere. "Help me!" they pleaded, their handwriting shaky and childlike, almost desperate. Daniel's parents, at their wits' end, dismissed it as a child's overactive imagination, nothing more. They scolded him, punished him, but the pleas for help only grew more desperate and frequent. Daniel was trapped in a nightmare, disbelieved and accused by those he trusted. The entity inside Chester fed off Daniel's fear, growing stronger with each passing day, thriving on his terror. The doll was no longer content with childish pranks. It craved something more, something far more sinister. It craved a body. Daniel's nightmares took on a terrifying new dimension. He would dream of being trapped inside Chester, his consciousness merging with something cold and evil. He would wake up screaming, his body racked with pain, his mind filled with images he couldn't comprehend. The line between dream and reality blurred. Daniel's parents, finally sensing something was terribly wrong, sought help. But doctors found nothing physically wrong with Daniel. They diagnosed him with anxiety, prescribed medication, but the nightmares only intensified. Chester was closing in. One night, as Daniel slept, a cold wind swept through the house. The temperature plummeted, causing the windows to rattle violently. The once warm and cozy home was now filled with an eerie chill, as if the very essence of warmth had been sucked out, leaving behind an unsettling coldness that penetrated every corner of the house. Shadows danced on the walls, twisting and contorting into monstrous shapes. These shadows seemed to have a life of their own, moving with a sinister grace that defied the laws of nature. They stretched and morphed, creating figures that were both terrifying and mesmerizing, as if they were performing a macabre ballet just for Daniel. Daniel's parents rushed to his room, drawn by an unseen force. Their hearts pounded in their chests as they sprinted down the dark hallway, the sense of dread growing with each step. They could feel the malevolent presence that had invaded their home, a force beyond their understanding, compelling them to move faster. The door creaked open, revealing a scene of unimaginable horror. The dim light from the hallway cast long, eerie shadows into the room, illuminating the terrifying tableau that awaited them. The air was thick with a palpable sense of fear and despair, as if the room itself was alive with malevolent intent. Chester stood on the bed, his porcelain face contorted in a grotesque mockery of a smile. The doll, once a harmless plaything, now seemed to be the very embodiment of evil. Its eyes, once lifeless and dull, now sparkled with a malevolent intelligence, as if it were aware of the terror it was causing. His eyes glowed an infernal red, casting an eerie light on the room. The crimson glow bathed everything in a sinister hue, making the shadows dance even more wildly. It was as if the doll was channeling some dark energy, its eyes burning with an unholy fire that seemed to pierce through the very soul. And Daniel lay unnaturally still, his eyes wide open and vacant, a single word escaping his lips in a raspy whisper, "Mine." His voice, barely audible, sent chills down his parents' spines. It was a voice that did not belong to their son, a voice that seemed to come from the depths of some dark abyss. The word hung in the air, heavy with a sense of possession and dread, as if Daniel had been claimed by the very force that had invaded their home. Whispers of Chester, echoes of Chucky. The events that transpired in that room remained shrouded in mystery. Daniel was never the same. Some say the entity inside Chester took what it craved, leaving Daniel a hollow shell. Others whisper that Daniel somehow managed to banish the evil back into the doll, trapping it once more. Chester vanished that night, his whereabouts unknown. Some say he was destroyed, reduced to dust to prevent the evil from resurfacing. Others believe he's still out there, waiting for the right moment to unleash his terror once more. The enduring influence of evil toys. The story of Chester, like the tale of Chucky, taps into our deepest fears, reminding us that evil can lurk in the most innocuous of places. These tales are not just stories, they are reflections of our own anxieties and the unknown. The idea that something as innocent as a child's toy could harbor malevolent intentions is a concept that has fascinated and terrified us for generations. It's a chilling reminder that the things we bring into our homes, the toys we give our children, can harbor secrets, desires and darkness beyond our comprehension. These objects, often seen as symbols of innocence and joy, can sometimes become vessels for our deepest fears. The notion that a toy, designed to bring comfort and happiness, could instead bring terror and dread is a powerful one. Chucky, with his murderous rampage, became a pop culture icon, his story told and retold in countless sequels and remakes. His character has become synonymous with the idea of the evil toy, the symbol of how something meant to be harmless can turn deadly. The enduring popularity of Chucky speaks to our collective fascination with the dark side of innocence, but Chester's story, whispered in hushed tones, serves as a chilling reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are born not in the shadows, but in the light of day, hidden in plain sight. Unlike Chucky, Chester's tale is not widely known, but it is no less terrifying. It serves as a stark reminder that evil can be found in the most unexpected places, and that the things we take for granted can sometimes be the most dangerous. The story of Chester and Chucky both serve to remind us that we should always be cautious of the things we bring into our lives, for we never truly know what secrets they may hold. Separating fact from fiction. The line between fact and fiction can be blurry, especially when it comes to stories like Chester's. Was he truly possessed by a malevolent entity, or was he simply a conduit for something darker? Something rooted in our collective unconscious? The answer, like Chester himself, remains elusive. But one thing is certain. The story of Chester, whether rooted in reality or the depths of our imaginations, serves as a chilling reminder of the power of belief and the unseen forces that may lurk just beyond our perception. A final word of caution. So the next time you see a child's toy, a seemingly harmless doll with button eyes and a painted-on smile, remember Chester, remember that even in the most innocent of objects, darkness can lurk. And sometimes that darkness whispers back,